This episode of Hydroshow is sponsored by Hydromag, the UK's independent hydroponics magazine.
Okay, so we're here with Liam from HID. We've got a couple of products to look through. So do you want to talk us through these?
Okay, so first of all we have our Phresh filter.
Yeah.
This is a premium filter range. It's the best-selling range in the United States, in Australia, in Canada, and we've made big inroads in the UK market in the last year or so in terms of the number of retailers selling this product.
Yeah.
It's I think we've done something like triple the sales of the product.
Right.
So it's really kicking into the market now. I think consumers are definitely seeing the benefits of the quality of the carbon we use and the better airflows that we get from our filter.
Yeah, because it's more of a consistent carbon grade that you've got in your...
It is, yeah. I mean, a lot of the manufacturers at the moment use a 412, and we use a 4.8 fraction. That means that our size fraction is 3 to 6 millimeters. Everyone else uses 2 to 6 millimeters. So by taking that 2 to 3 millimeter fraction out, it'll use a harmonic vibration in terms of manufacturing. So every filter is exactly the same, and you get much better consistency in the gaps between the carbon particles.
Does that help with the compaction of the carbon? That sort of.
The harmonic vibration means that it's exactly the same every time.
Right. Okay.
So they will make it to a certain weight. It's part of the quality control as well. Every filter has a sticker on it with the QC checks that are stamped, and that's part of that process. If the filter doesn't weigh right, it'll be emptied and started again, which is something that, you know, for the end consumer is a peace of mind there as well. The actual carbon source itself, while the carbon does come from the Thai West mine, like a lot of other carbons, it's actually processed by a company called Activated Carbon Technologies. Their sticker is on our box. They do the batch test of the carbon. This is why we can do the 4.8 fraction, because they separate it out for us. They sell carbon for lots of different purposes.
Right.
But we take the 4.8 fraction exclusively from them. And like I say, every batch of carbon is a batch test.
Yeah.
On the box of your filter, you will see a code on there on the website, freshcarbon.com. You can go on the website and you can pull up the batch certificate for your carbon that was used in your filter. Right. We're the only company on the market that does that. So it's a real peace of mind for the end consumer to know that we're using that same quality carbon every single time. So
with obviously the batch control, you're going to be getting a consistent result with your filters every time. You know, there's not going to be
absolutely, yeah. And I think as well we're the only company that use a triple activated carbon. Okay. So I don't know if a lot of people know how the carbon is actually produced, and you can see the granules in the base stand there. Yeah. Essentially this is put through a kiln when they're making titanium oxide, and that's what dries out and breaks down the carbon and opens up the pores. Right. Yeah, and charges it. Most other companies use single or double activated carbon. We always only use triple activated carbon. So it's the driest carbon around and it's the most porous carbon around, so it's got higher absorption. Testing has shown that there's an increase of somewhere around 15%. Right. Absorption, somewhere around 80% reduction in moisture compared to other carbons. So what that means is you're going to get that, we can do that 2-year lifespan, yeah, and we can also stand to have that particle size. Right. So take that 2 to 3 mil out. We've also got a thinner bed on our carbon as well. Most companies use a 50 millimeter bed. We actually use a 46 millimeter bed. Okay. So again, because of the quality of the carbon, because of the activation, we can get away with a lighter filter and still get that 2-year lifespan.
Oh, that's really good. Really good. Does it work better under different conditions in terms of humidity or just sort of background atmosphere and stuff? Or?
Yeah, I think with humidity, that's always going to clog up your filter at some point. With our carbon, because it's drier, there's more capacity to withhold that moisture, so it just gives you more leeway. Yeah. But ultimately, whatever filter you have, that's going to it's going to clog it up.
That's always going to be a bonus in a moist growing environment.
It just gives you that bit of extra leeway, really.
Yeah. That's great. So you got a fan here as well.
That's right. We got our new Hyper fan, which we've launched at the show this weekend. Very positive feedback. We've been demoing to a lot of our retailers over the last month or so as well in the background. So all of them are very keen to get this product on board. Right. It's the first digital fan in the world. Ultimately, it runs differently to your standard fans because it's a digital motor. Okay. So it's based around jet engine technology. It's super efficient and super powerful. It's the highest pressure fan on the market. Right. And we do quote airflow volumes for these fans, so they're available in a 6, 8, an 8 inch and a 10 inch, and you're looking at about 535 for for the 6-inch meters cube per hour, and you're looking at about 1200 meters cube per hour for the 8-inch, and 1800 meters cube per hour for the 10-inch.
Right, that is quite high for the 8 and 10 especially.
It is, yeah. Now, obviously, what we're looking at, this will compete with the box fan into the market as well. The big difference is that it actually generates the pressure. So we're going through the process now with retail stores, and this weekend talking to consumers of sort of re-educating people in terms of, it's all very well and good quoting volumes, but we know from feedback we've had from retailers with box fans, they quote a certain volume, but by the time you stick a filter on there, it's doing nowhere, you know, maybe 2/3 of what they actually quote. It's because of the type of the motor, the type of blade that they use, the barrel system. It creates a lot of drag on the blade, and therefore the fan itself doesn't generate enough pressure to move that volume of air. With these fans, because of the way the motor works, it's magnetically mounted, and because it's got so many contact points on the motor, it doesn't have to overpower where you get your boom, boom, because the brush motor has 2 points of contact, so it has to overpower to turn from 12 to 6. Whereas ours has got 12 points of contact, so it's just constantly turning, so it turns super fast, it's super efficient. I think the 10-inch runs at about 115 watts. So really low power consumption for that power as well.
So you're getting quite a high output for less wattage as well.
Yeah, much less,
That's really good.
Yeah, and I mean, when you're looking at certain situations, if you've got long duct runs, you know, it's perfect. If you've got a couple of bends in your duct, you know, this will be, generates the pressure to be able to push the air or pull the air. Whereas a lot of the other fans in the market, they won't be able to cope with those conditions.
I see you've got a controller on it as well.
Yeah, it comes with controller built in, so you can unplug that. You've just got a little push fit on the side here. It just plugs in, screw it tight, and it unplugs at that end. So without the controller, it just runs flat out. And we do have a little twin fan speed controller. It's the only digital one on the market at the moment, so it's the only one that'll run this. And we will have that under our own brand, so that'll be out. The fans should be in stock within a month or so, and that'll be ready to go with the fans. But this comes with it, and it's just 35 to 100%, so you just ramp it up and down as you need to.
And is that, because with some fans, when you dim them down on controllers, you get an electronic buzz,
You don't get it with this. I mean, when it's run on idle, you can hardly hear it, to be honest. It's very quiet. We will be doing a silence version as well, so it'll be mounted in a silencer. There'll be obviously a little bit extra for that, but it is a lot quieter. We do sell a range of silencers as well, so you know, if you can pop your silencer on the end, there's lots of different options in terms of using the fan and getting the best out of it. I don't know if you've seen on the stand, we have our 8-inch silenced hyper fan
inside
the 12-inch acoustic ducting. So it's, and you can, obviously it's loud because of the show, but you can't really hear it anyway. So we're really impressed with that. That's something we picked up with the Aussies too. So,
so is there anything that's not so obvious about the fan that I can ask you about that is?
I guess it's just the technology, really. I don't really know enough about it, to be honest, to go into it in super detail. But you know, it's like I say, it's based around jet engine technology. It's just super efficient. It's pretty quiet. It's got a 5-year warranty, actually. They do what's called an accelerated fan test, where they run these things at like 70 degrees, and each month is the equivalent of 1 year's worth of use in a normal environment. And these fans have been running for about 9 months now in that environment. So they're more than capable of doing that 5-year warranty. So I think that's something that, as well as you getting the top end product, you're getting the warranty to go with it.
That's always good from a consumer's point of view.
It's good peace of mind, absolutely.
That's great. Well, thanks very much for bringing these in. It's been great talking through them and seeing obviously a new fan particularly. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Next time you're in your local hydroponics store, why not pick up a copy of Hydromag? Hydromag brings you in-depth information about all aspects of hydroponic growing, from growth mediums to systems. In fact, everything you need to grow your seed can be found in Hydromag. Hydromag is written by growers for growers. Hydromag, hydroponics, urban living, and so much more. So why not visit our website www.hydromag.co.uk.